Hey guys, it's Rachel from Desert Blossom Crafts back with another stitch tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet the star stitch 2 ways. Before I made this tutorial, I did some research and I found that people often make the star stitch in 2 different ways. These are the 2 samples, and they have one row that's exactly the same, but then they change it up on the second row. So you can see these 2 samples have the same amount of rows in them, but one ends up taller than the other. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make both of these, just kind of consolidate it into one video, and I'll even teach you some cool tips to make sure you don't end up with holes on the edge, because some tutorials end up with clunky holes. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. As far as materials go, you can really use any yarn and hook combination. Personally, I am just using some unnamed worsted weight yarn I have in my stash, along with an H 5mm crochet hook. This combination has been working fine for me, but I've also heard people say they love the way the stitch looks in chunky yarn, so just experiment and see how you end up liking the star stitch best as far as hook and yarn. So to get started here, I've made a foundation single crochet row. I like to start all my stitches and projects this way because it makes the base very stretchy. You can start with a traditional chain if you want, but I recommend doing an odd number of chains and then making one row of single crochet, and you'll be at the same point that I'm at here. The multiple for this stitch, once you have that base row of single crochet, you need to have an even number. So you'll either make a foundation single crochet row that's an even number, or make chains and a row of single crochet that ends up with an even number also. Once you've got that, it's time to turn and get started with row 1. Now row 1 in every odd numbered row for the star stitch will be the same no matter which method you choose. The differences come on row 2. So for now, let's just do row 1. I'm going to make 2 chains and I'm going to turn. And now we're going to learn what is called the star stitch. The very first star is going to be a little different from the other stars we make. So this first one, just know it will be a little different. But I'm going to insert my hook into the back bump of this second chain. So here I have both my chains. I'm just going to insert into this bump, right like that, and pull up a loop. And then I'm going to insert my hook into this loop here, which is right behind the back bump. And that should give me 3 loops on my hook. And now I'm just going to insert my hook into the next 3 foundation single crochets. Insert, pull up, insert, pull up, and one last time. So something to keep in mind with the star stitch is before you yarn over and pull through all the loops, you should always have 6 loops on your hook, as I do now, no matter if it's a beginning star stitch or one of the later ones. But the next step is to just yarn over and pull through all, and that is your very first star stitch. You can see it's starting to form there. And then to close off the star stitch, you're going to just chain 1. So every time you do a star stitch, no matter where it is, you will always end with a chain 1 on it. Now, here's where we start the star stitch that's going to be the same across the whole row. You're still going to go till you have 6 loops on your hook, but the difference is we're going to insert a few different places because at the beginning we had to go in the chain. So this right here, where we just made the chain at, this chain, this is called the eye of the star stitch, and that's something you want to keep in mind because we're going to go into that several different times. First, I'm going to pull up a loop in that eye. Next, I'm going to pull up a loop in the last leg of the star stitch. That's kind of what this is called right here. Each of these loops is like a leg of the star stitch. And so I'm going to insert right here. Now, I've seen people go both in just this front loop and also in the one right behind it. I like going in both just to make it a little bit more sturdy, but you can experiment with that if you would like. So there I have 3. Now I'm going to go in the base stitch from the last star stitch we did. So this one the last leg, see, that we just went in is actually in this stitch here. So we're going to go in that also. And then we're just going to go in 2 more stitches right here. 1 and 2. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops. That means we're ready to pull through. And there my second star stitch is made. And this is what we're going to keep repeating across until there's just 1 stitch left. So let me do it with you a few more times. Chain 1, always chain 1 after the star stitch is done. Insert into the eye, insert into the last leg, insert into the base stitch, and then the next 2 stitches. There we have 6 loops, yarn over, and pull through. Chain 1. I'm going to go a little faster this time. Eye, leg, base, next 2. And this is my last star stitch now because we have just 1 left right here. First, I'm going to pull through and chain 1. Now, I want to make an important distinction here because a lot of times what I've seen people show to do next is just to half double crochet in this last stitch here. And that does work okay, but what you end up with is this nasty little hole. And it doesn't really look good when you start doing more rows. It just ends up having this hole all the way up the side. And this may be different if you use a different yarn, but the times I've tried it, I just really didn't like the way it looked. So I decided to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to show you what you can do instead. So you're still doing your chain to close the last star stitch, but we're going to do a half double crochet 2 together in the last base stitch from the last star and this last one. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook. So see, here's the last star stitch. I'm going in that base stitch again, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I'm going to insert my hook into the very last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. This time I have just 4 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to pull through all 4 of those. Okay, so there is what that looks like. You can see it really just gets rid of the hole and makes it look a lot more natural. Alright, so now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So when it comes to row 2, this is where you have 2 different options. And these are the samples again, and I'll kind of show you as I go along. The first option is to do single crochets across, and the second option is to do half double crochets. So I'm going to start with single crochet, and then I'll show you the half double crochet option. So I'm going to single crochet just in this very first half double crochet. And then I'm going to make 2 single crochet in the eye of each star. So if you get confused about where the eye is, turn it over from the right side and kind of hold the place with your finger while you turn it over so you can see where the eye is. So this is what it looks like from the back. I'm going right here. It's in that chain that you made to close the star stitch. I'm going to do 2 single crochet there. And now the next eye is right here. You can see it kind of makes a circular hole. So that's a nice marker, I guess you could say. 2 single crochet. Here's the next one. Now when you get here, we have 1 more eye left right there. 1 and 2. And then we're just going to do 1 last single crochet in the half double crochet. Or actually this is the original star stitch we did. So just 1 last single crochet to finish it up. Okay, so this is the wrong side of the work. When I turn it over, this is what you've got. So if I pull up this is that method 1 with the single crochet. So this makes the original star row a little bit more pronounced and kind of a shorter star stitch. Whereas when we do the half double crochet, it's going to make the whole thing look a little bit bigger. So that's method 1. Now let me show you method 2. which is essentially the exact same, just with half double crochet. So I'll go a little bit faster, because you're still doing 1 half double crochet in this very first stitch, and then 2 half double crochet in the eye of each star. So here's the eye, 1, 2, here's the next eye, 1, 2, and there should be 2 more eyes, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then half double crochet in the last one, just like we single crocheted in it before. So there's the wrong side of the work, and if we turn it around, there's the right side. So it's really up to personal preference which method you choose. I like the way both of them look, honestly, but if you're using different yarns, one might look better. The single crochet does make it a little bit less holy. I would say the half double crochet would make it a little bit easier for things to go through it. So go ahead and choose which method you're going to use for row 2, and then I'll show you how to do row 3, which essentially is going to be the same as row 1, but I just want to do one more row with you to show you that one more time. So for row 3 and every odd numbered row, you're going to chain 2 again and turn, and I'm turning my work to the left here. And then remember, we're going to go in the back bump of the chain and then this strand here. So insert my hook into the back bump, yarn over, right behind the back bump, yarn over. Then I have 3 loops. Now I'm going in the first half double crochet or single crochet depending on which row 2 you did, and then the next one, and then one more, and then I have 6 loops, yarn over, pull through, chain 1 to close the eye. Now this is just going to be the same as row 1, where I insert my hook into the eye, then into the last leg of the star stitch, pull up, then into the base stitch from that last star, and then into the next 2 stitches till I have 6 loops, pull through, and chain 1. And we should just have one more star to do before we end the row. So eye, leg, base stitch, next 2 stitches, pull through, and now we're going to do that half double crochet 2 together once again. So chain 1 to close the star as usual, and then remember to do the half double crochet 2 together. I'm going to yarn over, insert into this last base stitch, pull up a loop, then insert into the very last stitch, pull up a loop. So now I just have 4 loops on my hook, then I'm pulling through. Okay, so there is what the next star row looks like, and then from here you would just do another half double crochet row or single crochet row depending on what you've chosen. So to make the star stitch, that's really all you need to know. You'll just keep alternating with rows 2 through 3 for as long as you want to do it. You can choose to do half double crochet or single crochet, and then just do the regular star row for every odd numbered row. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, I would love if you could give the video a thumbs up and come subscribe to my channel, because I am doing lots of videos in 2021. Every Tuesday and Friday there will be new videos up, so I would love to have you come follow along with that journey. But thanks for watching and have a great day.